Lil Nas X makes a joke and says that Boosie's going to be featured on a track with Lil Nas X. And then Boosie took it upon himself to tell Lil Nas X to kill himself, which is not okay. Not okay at all. And then he said, basically nobody will miss you. That led to Lil Nas X's dad coming into it. Mm-hmm. And, basically shaming Boosie for saying shit like that, which, good move. To which Boosie kind of goes at his dad and basically says, I know you disappointed. You got a gay son out here. Da, da, da. Let's start off with our. You want to start off with our position on Lil Nas X?
Sure. I mean, that I guess for setting the
contextual purposes. Let's set the table on the fact that I think as far as Lil Nas X goes, he's very obviously a troll in the industry.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. I think he very much likes attention. And while he is, a person who is, amongst the LGBT community, which is perfectly fine, it's very obvious that he's playing it up for attention at some level.
Well, I believe it grants him some level of cover, to be honest, to do some of the salacious stuff he does. Like, I could not fathom any black person, you know what I'm saying, getting away with any sort of alluding to any type of satire, any type of association with devil worship. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in our community, a lot of kids wasn't even allowed to fucking trick or treat because of their parents being scared of spirits or, being Bible thumpers and things like that. So it's just like small things like that he's able to survive or really parry without having negative press around it. I think that does stem from his relationship with his community, within the LGBT community. I think that has a lot to do with it because people don't attack him. Mm-hmm. The way that they attack other people.
I'll give you one caveat. Lil Uzi Vert. Now, Lil Uzi Vert hasn't explicitly said anything, so maybe that's where it's a little off. But
yeah, and then
Lil
also,
Uzi Vert definitely
it's
flirts
not literally
with it.
Putting the mark of the beast on your shoes.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a blatant troll.
Yeah.
And how people don't react to that in kind, I don't understand it. I mean, it's like if you talk about Lil Nas X having 666 on his shoes, then like you're homophobic, or if you talk about the fact that he purposefully puts himself in positions of irritation or trying to antagonize people, right? Like, Boosie don't like you. He don't like you. Mm-hmm. And you knew you was gonna get some sort of response like that. Now, I don't think that he's a snowflake about it. I think he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But it's the reaction, right? Like as if he's a victim of something. No, you engaged in some sort of online bullshit.
Yeah.
Trying to be funny.
Trying to
and
get
the
clout.
nigga said some shit that he shouldn't have said to you. I'm not about to excuse Boosie for saying that shit. And we'll get to him in a second. But as far as Nas X is concerned, you're not a victim. You know what I'm saying? If you go and seek out someone who doesn't like you on a public forum, you don't really have my sympathy towards what may come to you. Now, I have empathy towards the things that he said to you, and I have an understanding that that's not okay to say to anybody. Mm-hmm. But just in terms of protecting him for the sake of protecting him, honestly, protecting him because he may be part of another like sexual orientation. It's not because we don't. First of all, we don't run to black men's defense like that over stuff like this. We definitely do not. Mm-hmm. So it is the extra caveat of him, being part of that community that gives him that level of support in so many of these things.
It's one thing to get bullied. It's another thing to troll the bully into
bullying you in a public forum. Like you cannot possibly argue to me that that's not what happened. And then again, the response was atrocious. It was terrible. But
yeah.
I'm not going to sit up here and ignore the fact that he basically ran in the room and punched his older brother in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Now, Boosie, you appear to be weak, right? Like, I think he believes that he's projecting strength when he's projecting insecurity and like some deep shit. Like I'm trying to stay off of it. I really am. I'm trying to stay off of it. But nigga, you got beef with all of these men and how they raise their sons and where their sons are putting their private parts. I don't know why this man is so interested in that. We'll just put it like that.
Nah, there's definitely deep-seated insecurity in it.
It has to be, because I don't believe that it ain't nobody around you that's saying, hey, look, man, you letting that nigga get you bent out of shape. Like, niggas are saying things about you.
Yeah.
And it's because you don't seem to be able to control your emotions towards a certain group of people. Mm-hmm. So that leads people to talk and to think about things. I know he has heard that from somebody. Matter of fact, we literally watched somebody say it to his face.
Well, no, a lot of times I need to shut the fuck up. It's just.
Why don't you?
I don't know, man. It be hard.
Why do you say things about person that might be a homosexual? Why do you say that about them? Do you feel the possibility that you're a homosexual and you by disrespect them, you further yourself from being a homosexual, or thinking you may like homosexuals?
Nah. I'm straight as an arrow. I'm just saying,
I'm not saying you are, but why do you have? If you're straight, why do you? I
probably the only man on the planet. Well, one of the only men on the planet that could say that to Boosie to his face.
Yeah.
But like, people will question certain things about you if you continue to give up your frame to silly shit, to Twitter.
Yeah.
You're losing your position over fucking Twitter.
Here's the thing about Boosie that I don't think I'll ever understand is your problem with, the way Dwayne Wade raises his son, the way that Lil Nas X is, parading his sexuality in front of everybody, is that you don't want the kids to see or deal with that. But you're also the same rapper that admitted to taking his younger sons and nephews or whatever to the strip club to go get their first lap dances at an extremely young age. You're also the guy who's on Instagram hosting, the whole pandemic live parties where, you're trying to get girls to show, any and everything on live. So the hypocrisy of that is nuts.
Well, so I don't believe that it's just about the sexualization of the children with him, right? I think it's about homosexual nature in children. Yeah. Like that's what his gripe is, or any type of variation in sexual orientation in children.
But you can't be about protecting them from homosexuality,
but not harmful heterosexuality is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a little nuts.
I mean, the way that he's projecting strength or what he believes to be strength tells me that he has a certain approach to things that is problematic.
Yeah.
Right? Like he has an idea of how to go about things that it's I really don't like to go down the toxic masculinity rabbit hole, but like it's just like almost like a cartoonish level of bravado, right? Like it's insane, fam. Like, first of all, you're not a very physically imposing guy either, and so like it's the most tropey thing in the world to see this little man being so,
yeah.
I eat steak 5 days a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man blood, put it in my veins, brother. Like fucking Black Hulk Hogan over here.
Right.
Like it's really silly. It's silly. That's fake shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see through that kind of shit.
Yeah. It's very obvious that neither one of them is going to stop because they both amass so much clout and notoriety. unfortunately, from it.
With Nas X more so, because he's only as popular as his next scandal. He's only as popular as his next scandal. So in between I won't take anything away from his musical talent. The music is hit or miss. Some of the songs I've heard from him are really good. But in turn, that's not why Nas X is here. That's not why there's a Nas X day in Georgia. That's not why there's a Nas commercial with Elton fucking John.
Yeah.
It's not the music, fam. It's all the extra.
Yeah.
And so I honestly feel with him that he gets that outside of the barbecue. You know? And I think he's comfortable there. Right? Because of everything that he got going on. Like, I think if people ignored it and just didn't buy into the troll, because while he doesn't necessarily spend all his time in our community, we do validate him.
Yes. And
so if he loses some of his clout over here, it'll end up simmering down like another certain troll that we, saw a couple years ago that has faded off into the distance. Yeah. Never to be heard of again.
Thank goodness.
So I think that's really the lesson to be learned here, is that you let a troll to himself, and you don't engage in it. You for sure as hell don't tell him to go kill himself.
Lil Boosie has a very niche community of people who think that because of the things that he says, the things that he's combating with this whole Lil Nas X thing, that he's a real nigga.
Well, okay, yeah, sure. There are plenty of people that think that way. There are men and women that think that way. Mm-hmm. But again, to me, it doesn't show strength to lose control of your emotions.
For sure.
That's not strength. That's not strong. That's not manly. Mm-hmm. And it gains you absolutely nothing.
And truthfully, like you said, it shows insecurity. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts on Lil Nas X and Lil Boosie?
Leave that nigga alone, man. Let him do what he gonna do out there with the Hollywood starlets. We do not have to entertain here at the community.
That is a fact.
We don't have to.
Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going? You a legend.
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this? Go ahead and click that video to the left.
If you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.